What's up guys, Coach Az here. Today I'm going to show you 3 variations on a leg kick that I think are criminally underused. The sports that use leg kicks, K1 kickboxing, Muay Thai, MMA, they've really evolved in recent times. So using the classics, although they're great and they're important fundamentals, people have really started to adapt and learn how to take the shots and have learned how to check them. So I think there's a few little variations that people could make to have a lot more success with these kicks. So let's start going through them. So we all know the classics. We all know the idea of coming around and chopping to the outside of the lead leg, chopping to the inside. The calf kick is starting to become really popular, especially to the outside of the calf. So we're not going to talk about any of those 3 today. I'm going to give you 3 different ones to go away, work with, see if you can put into your sparring. The first one is the back leg. And the reason I'm going to say this one is, for most people, they fight out of a single stance and they learn over time not only how to check with their lead leg, but their lead leg gets really used to taking those kicks. So even if you've got great setups and you're landing that leg kick every single time, the lead leg can often, on a well-trained fighter, it can absorb up to 8 to 10 kicks before it's truly going to be compromised. However, this leg tends to not see much damage. It's a lot more difficult to get in and kick on, but if you can, it'll only take 2 or 3 shots to this leg in comparison to 8 or 10 on this one. Alright, so the way we're going to practice it, if we're from a close stance, the big thing obviously is that we're going to need to get into very close range. So although we might use straight punches to get on the inside, we really want to set this up off of something like a hook or something off of a backhand that's going to allow us to be in a close enough range that I can get in and bang my shin into that back leg from here. Okay, so for example, we can work off the 1, 2, 3. I'm going to step in on a 1, 2. I'm going to come around with that hook, and as I come round, I can even work this as a switch, boom, and shoot that leg kick into that rear leg. Now, in terms of direction of that kick, there's a lot of people that tell you the leg kick has to come over and down. There's people who tell you to come straight across. There's people who tell you to come straight up. They're all variations, guys. There's no right or wrong answer for this one. So it's whatever one you feel that you can get in on. So first one, attacking that rear leg. You can always work it from an open stance as well. I might just step in off of a jab and shoot that kick round to that back leg on that side, trying to hit across that IT band and tighten that out. Second one we're going to work. We aren't going to attack the lead leg now, but we're going to change the point of attack. So like I said, we're all really familiar with the idea of kicking the outside and kicking the inside of that leg. Where we're going to attack is right here. So right here, where the hip comes down and meets into this front leg, there's like a little pinch point here. And it's effectively where these muscles here start to connect down into the thigh. So coming here down into the quad, where it connects up from the hip. Now to get here, let's say that I was in this close stance position, I'm going to need to create a bit of an angle. So I'm going to use a bit of a step to come across, and effectively I'm chopping my leg, boom, up across this front side of this leg. So I might step out with a jab, step out with a jab to set up, and bang, wrap my shin around the front part of this upper thigh here. It's also really difficult to defend because the typical defense for that leg kick would be to lift your leg and turn it out. So Anne would lift her leg and turn it out this way to check. The beauty of this is if you get that step wide enough, even if she goes to check, you can come over the top and hit down on top of that leg. Whereas if I was coming across, let's say I was trying to hit that inside leg, there's a good chance I'm going to run into that check. But with this step, I get that extra moment. She might check a little early, and as she checks, I come up, and then you can use that chopping down motion to come over the top, bang, onto the front side of that outer lead leg. Last variation we're going to talk about is the inside calf kick. So, like I said at the beginning, it's really popular, especially most of us would be fighting a close stance, probably the other way around, both fighting orthodox, and would be used to shooting and chopping the backside of that calf. But this inside calf here is a really effective weapon. Not only because the calf kick, as we know, is very effective, very devastating, and very difficult to check, but when we hit to this inside of the leg, we put a lot of stress on the ACL, on this outside part of the knee here. Because, of course, her leg, if I hit it just right, is going to bow this way. okay? And this is the most susceptible part of the knee to do damage. This outward bowing motion here is what we really don't want to have happen to our own leg. Now again, I can just work this straight in, come off. I can work it off of a switch and come off. If I was on an open stance, it's a lot easier because I just come straight in off of that back leg. I'm trying to wrap my shin around this calf muscle here. So I'm not trying to hit to the back of the knee. If we hit to the back of the knee's just going to naturally bend and we're going to get away with it. Really what I'm trying to think of is chopping into the most round part of the calf here and trying to almost pull it across this way. So the ankle stays where it is, the knee effectively stays where it is, but this shin part moves across here, causing the strain and the pressure on that leg. Even if it doesn't land with full force, this kick is a great way of throwing your partner off with balance and then setting you up to follow in with your hands. So guys, let's just do a quick revision. I'll do them all in a closed stance first of all. So closed stance, we're both right leg forward just so it's a bit easier for you guys to see. We spoke about attacking that rear back leg. So if you know your opponent always fights out of one stance, stepping in and striking shin to thigh on that back leg on the outside. Then we spoke about coming round to this front portion of the lead leg here. So not to the sides, not to the inside, but this front portion. So stepping out across and coming down across the front of that pinch point where we have the hip. And finally, that inside calf kick coming up in and around here, bending that knee, trying to rotate it and bend it outwards. If you're in an open stance position, so one of you's the opposite side, all these kicks are still available to you. You just got to adjust a little bit. So it'll be that back leg coming around, shooting into that back leg. Always being cautious with the hands because we're very susceptible to those hand counters when we're attacking that rear leg. If I'm trying to attack that front one here, I'm going to use a big front step with that lead leg and chop across with the back. So from there, front leg steps out, chop across, reset. Always thinking about the hands for setting it up. And of course, finally, that calf kick, probably the best one of these three out of this open position because I can just chop straight in and across, remembering that we're trying to wrap our shin in and around that calf muscle. All right, guys, so there's 3 leg kick variations that are just something a bit different from the classics. The classics are great. I'm not saying they don't work, they're not effective. They certainly are. There's a reason that they're the fundamentals. But if you want to get the drop on your opponent, trying to catch them off guard, here's 3 different kicks that you can throw. Get practicing, and we'll see you on the next one.